Now joining us with more on last week's terror attack that left 19-year-old Ori Ansbacher dead in the woods is attorney and political analyst Gal Babayoff. Gal, thank you so much for coming back in today.
Thank you for inviting.
All right, so I wish it was under better circumstances, but what can you tell us about the death penalty and who's pushing for it right now, and whether or not that's a good idea? But let's first start off with, what is the debate on the death penalty right now?
Currently in Israel, the death penalty has been banished since 1954. It was a legacy of the British Mandate, which was cancelled out of law in 1954, and the discussion regarding its validity has been going on for the past 40 or some odd years. In recent years, and let's say in the last 5 years, the political right has been pushing to reinstate the death penalty as a deterrent in Israel. Mm-hmm. The pros for that, of course, is a deterrent to try to deter people who have been acting viciously against Israelis, and in the public in general. It could be terrorists, people who are doing atrocious things to other people, such as very horrific murders, as we've seen last Thursday. The cons, the fact of the matter is that the issue has been in debate for over 40 years, if to reinstate or not, has been a political obstacle of sorts.
Well, and therein kind of, for me at least, lies the biggest question. What is the efficacy of using the death penalty as a deterrent, especially with respect to Israel and the Israel-Palestinian conflict? Because, as you said, first of all, it hasn't really been used in Israel, save for twice. Save for twice, exactly.
Adolf Eichmann under the law of persecution of Nazis, mm-hmm. and an Israeli military officer back in the 50s who acted in treason.
Exactly. So, but aside from that, we haven't killed anyone, we haven't sentenced anyone to die in Israel for terrorism or anything like that. So, where is this evidence from? Where is this decision-making coming from? Is it a visceral reaction, or is there really something to this?
I think it's two-phased. First of all, it's an emotional reaction to people who are saying, listen, we have to try to cover all bases and cross no lines in order to persecute justice with people who are attacking Israeli citizens for no apparent reason, i.e. terrorists in the mm-hmm. Judea, Samaria, Gaza Strip, or even in Israel. And we've seen, unfortunately, many, many people die due to suicide attacks or people who have just made terror attacks in spite.
Sure. Well, and so, again, as you just mentioned, when a terrorist comes into Israel and performs a terrorist attack, 9 times out of 10, they don't think that they're going to walk away alive.
Exactly.
So being killed after the fact is, I fail to see how that's a real deterrent.
The general idea for people who are advocating the death penalty or capital punishment back in Israel is the fact that the people around that certain terrorist have to understand that they are not safe. We're trying to raise in Israel a generation of children who can live safely and walk around the streets without fear. Other people in other areas of Israel or in Judea and Samaria have been educating their children to attack Israelis due to the fact that they're Jewish, due to the fact that they're Israelis, the fact that we're talking about shahidim, people who are martyrs. And that is a problem when we're trying to solve, I won't say solve, but try to lessen the amount of terror attacks within Israel or outside of Judea and Samaria itself. People who think that you can advocate the death penalty will say, listen, we'll deter people by saying, listen, you're saying 9 times out of 10 people are going to die. This will be the 10th person who dies, will be the person who gets caught, like this murderer was caught on Saturday night, and he will face Israeli justice in an Israeli court versus a military tribunal. The problem with the fact is that I do not, in my personal opinion, or many people who see it, do not advocate the capital punishment, because like in the United States, capital punishment is a very controversial issue. You have states that are for it, you have states that are against it. In a small population like we have here in Israel, the size of New Jersey, it's a very, very warm and hot-headed debate regarding its validity.
All right, well, I understand that there is a legislation currently on the books, it's being debated, and so we'll see where this goes and how effective it is if it does go anywhere. Gal Babayoff, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.